Welcome everyone. Today I'm going to talk about how movement and your deep core function can actually really help you prepare for birth, even if you're not someone who really wants to work out a lot during pregnancy. That's okay because there's so much that just learning some simple things can really help you prepare for birth and recovery postpartum, and of course life as a busy mama. Hey, I'm Erica Zeal, creator of Nocta Fitness and the Core Rehab program. And so today I really want to address, because I know pregnancy can be exhausting and challenging at times. And, sorry, and I know what that exhaustion is like. I've had 3 pregnancies myself. I've got 3 little kids. I know what that exhaustion is like. And sometimes even if we aspire to work out and stay active during pregnancy, that's may not always be what ends up happening. Well, of course, I am the biggest fan of telling you to stay active and work out every day if you can throughout your pregnancy. That's awesome, that's ideal, but again, not always realistic. So I want to talk about that today. And if you have specific questions, please post them and ask them below. If you're watching the recorded of this, that's okay. I'm going to check in later and I will answer questions for you if you have specific ones about preparing for birth or whatever it may be. So with core function, I want to specifically address, right, what I teach is really how to strengthen your deep core, yes, through movement, through exercise. And the cool thing about it is it doesn't have to be like super hardcore, go crazy, and feel exhausted. You should actually never feel exhausted after you work out. You should feel more energized. This is where sometimes a little bit less actually can make you feel better. So again, don't get discouraged if this is you and you're just feeling lethargic and tired and oh my gosh, doing a workout is kind of the last thing on your mind. That's okay. And this is a big thing of what I do teach in the membership, and we've added even more, and we're adding even more with the whole birth prep section. It's amazing. But I specifically talk you through how to strengthen your deep core through some simple movements with, an exercise ball or just sitting on the ground, or some really simple movements to help you feel better, feel more connected. But one thing I want to just go through right now, whether you're sitting or standing, whatever it may be, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to think about your breath for a second. And this is another piece I teach even more in depth. And then I want you to feel like you're growing tall through the top of your head. And I want you to breathe out into your sides and into your back, and then really deep into your belly and into your pelvis and into your pelvic floor. I want you to let everything expand and open up. See how much breath you can get into your belly and into your core. Just do a couple of those and just let everything relax and go. Believe it or not, sometimes there's so many things we start to just hang on to. We start to grip. We might start to grip through our pelvic floor. We might start to grip through our back. Simple little things here. Now, once you've done a couple of those, what I want you to think about is I want you to feel your pelvic floor, which is this diamond at the bottom, and I want you to feel as though with the inhale, it kind of just is spreading, and then as you exhale, feel as though you're drawing it together lightly, so underneath the pelvic floor, and then from underneath your belly, hugging your baby lightly, and then just feel this nice length all the way through the top of your head. Now, it may not feel like you're doing a lot. That's okay, but I want you to practice that. Okay, so just inhale to release and relax, deep belly breathing, deep breath out to your side. Exhale, just feel a little bit of a connection and a length, and then let everything go. Okay, so part of that I teach, right, is the relaxing part. And specifically in our Nocta Fitness membership, I teach you and take you through some sequences and some specific exercises with a ball. If you don't have an exercise ball, I recommend you get one. They're so amazing, and you'll see that I teach other things I've done in videos with them. But it allows us to do some simple things. They're great for birthing as well. So again, something to add on if you don't have one. But when we learn to release and relax, and there's such purpose to it, and it is something that I wish 10 years ago when I had my oldest that I knew more about, and I didn't. No one was talking about the importance of relaxing through your pelvis and relaxing through your pelvic floor, because when we go to birth a child, right, if we are gripping and pulling and we're so tight through our pelvic floor and through our pelvis, we actually are going to drastically increase the risk of one, tearing, potentially needing an episiotomy. And let me tell you from personal experience, you don't need one. I had an unneeded one with my first one. I didn't even know what they were till after I had had one, and I was like, why did I have one? Well, it was an old school doctor, didn't talk about it. He just she just came right out. And And part of that is, this is why I want to bring awareness to these things. And Annie Tinker and I, she's pregnant with her first. We filmed some stuff when she was out here, and it's amazing. And we just recently added, a birth prep talk in there where we talk about some of these things. I talk about more about my personal experiences to help you, because some of this is just bringing about awareness. When we understand what's going on and know about episiotomies and epidurals and tearing, and the fact that you could actually work to minimize or not even tear with a first baby is amazing. And I'm going to be 100% transparent right here. I have been blown away with the amount of moms that are going through and doing the Nocta Fitness membership. And I promise I'm not doing this just as a plug, but it is something that needs to be out there. And as they're going through, because you're learning how to strengthen, you're learning how to release, you're learning how to stand, we're learning about breath. And yes, there's a whole slew of workouts if that's something that you're wanting to do, but that is becoming just a part of this program. It's amazing, and we're just expanding and growing more into it. But these moms are reaching out and being like, I didn't tear. My doctors and nurses were blown away because I pushed my baby out with ease. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. A lot of these moms are pushing their babies out. First-time moms pushing babies out in less than 30 minutes, some of them in 10. And now the goal is not to push out fast, right? We want to be effective pushers. And I teach you through my push prep method how to push effectively if you need a little extra assistance, okay? So I want to be clear, yes, the uterus is our strongest muscle, and when it contracts, it is going to do the bulk of the work. But sometimes we need to give it a little extra assistance, not for everybody, but some need it, that it can really, really help to prevent, a surgical birth if that's not in your plans. And if that is, that's fine. We all are, everyone has their own choice. And so for me, I want to present information to you so that you're better prepared, because that's what a lot of this is. It's about being prepared. It's about knowing and understanding and realizing that we have a choice. It's so important. I always tell my moms when I work with them, and I talk about it in the membership, that whoever's going in with you, to the hospital, you need to have someone with you if possible at all times. Because even if you aren't having an epidural or aren't having any sort of, medication or drugs, you can still feel a little loopy and crazy with contractions and pain. It really can make your body do some crazy things, and you're not as coherent as you envision yourself to be. So always have an advocate there for you, going through creating a birth plan. And I recommend having like A, B, C, and D. Like, in an ideal world, this is how I want things to go. And if that doesn't happen, here's my backup plan, B and C and D. And at the end of the day, what is most important is that baby's healthy and you are healthy. So even if you end up having a cesarean birth, that's okay. Okay, and know that when you learn how to move your body, when we learn how to connect with our core, that can help you prepare even if you are planning a cesarean birth or you end up needing to have one. That's okay. Like, there's no wrong or right way. Everybody's bodies are different. Everything can go differently. It doesn't always go as it's planned. But here's the really, really neat thing is when we have more awareness, we bring awareness to our core. And again, if you've heard me talk before, I talk about how pregnancy is the best time in your life to learn about your core, because you have a baby inside to hug. It gives you tactile feedback. It's absolutely amazing. And when we can learn and do this work ahead of time while we're pregnant, again, it doesn't have to be a ton of working out. Again, obviously promote that if you can, but when we learn to release, relax, we learn to connect, we learn to carry our body, we learn about breath, and we do some simple movements, it really, really can add up to such amazing, better pregnancies. I teach a lot of release exercises because, back pain is such a common one that really doesn't have to affect you like so many women talk about it. Incontinence being another one, right? So even if you don't have it, it's never too early to work to prevent these things. And so when we do the work, during pregnancy, and there's so many women that reached out, after they've had their baby, they've been working with my programming and learning through the tutorials that I teach. And I also talk about some nutrition too, but is about, where was I before when they had their first baby and now they're on their third or their fifth or their seventh baby, whatever it might be. But I'm like, well, it's here. And so this is why I want to talk about it, because it's really, really impacting and changing so many women's lives. So anyway, absolutely amazing. Please ask if you have questions. I am here, happy to help answer them, send you in the right direction if we need to refer to somebody else. But anyway, check out the Knocked Up Fitness membership, because it includes so many amazing deep core tutorials, workouts, release exercises, additional information, answering questions. We've got a great group of mamas, and Annie and I also are available. We have an email you can reach out to us, was how we decided to make that. So if you have a quick question, you can always just reach out and say, hey, this is going on or that's going on. And of course, you always, talk to your doctor, ask them specific questions, make sure you're approved to exercise. But again, doing some simple breath work and core training can really add up to amazing results for pregnancy, for birth, and recovery and life as a busy mama. See you guys soon.